Good morning, everybody. I hope that you'll get ready to join me and maybe try to follow along a little bit. I know that the wolf idea is a little more challenging than a lot of the sculpture projects we've done. But what I did, and I have this in the post section at Learn Sculpture, I created a printout that shows the reverse of the wolf anatomy and view. Good morning, Frank and Jackie. Thank you so much for joining us today. So I created this reverse print out, and you can download that from the post section, and it'll help you follow along with the body shapes on the other side of the wolf. But what I did was I did a major change, and I wanted to kind of show what I'd done here. I took one of the legs off completely, and this was after I'd put armature in. But I realized I really like what we started with originally, and that foot going kind of in an up position was really cool. Let me see if I can find that original picture. He has his foot up right there, and let's see if we have another picture of the stalking wolf. Well, let's see. That's the one we have and that we reversed. There we go. And see, the foot is kind of forward, and that really gives it some energy that I thought was pretty neat. So let me switch to the other view. Hi, Cindy. How are you this morning? I'm glad you're here. So I was showing that I have some new views because let me switch to my other camera for a minute. I've made a change on the wolf, on the foot, front paw and leg. And let me see if I can turn that so you can really see it. Now, no longer can I stand it. It won't stand. So remember what I said about making a rock face. And what I'll do, whoops, I'll make it so you can see it, is let me go this way so you can kind of see how it's going to look. I'll turn it so you can kind of see those angles. And I'm going to put it back. Like when I'm laying it down, I have this towel, and then I have parchment paper. If I need to use my heat gun, the parchment paper is it looks scary. That is so funny. I was just trying to make it different from the Howling Wolf, right? But I think we wanted exciting and energetic. I know it looks scary. And so what I'm going to do today, and so just to give you all my plan, is I need to get this onto a base. And so I thought I'd make a rock base because it won't stand up now. And, that's fine. I mean, we're trying to make a sculpture, not just a model. Going back to Frank and Jackie's really good point a while back, what's the difference between a sculpture and a model? And I mean, this could just be a model of a wolf. But what we're doing is going to create a scene that makes it unique as a thing in the universe. No, it doesn't exist like this anywhere else. So therefore it becomes a sculpture. So a rock, kind of a cool rock base, and he's stalking, and we'll turn the head slightly, but we're going to take the head off first. I know it sounds like, what are you going to do? You're going to ruin your work. We need to take the head off to make a beautiful, refined face that's very realistic. And behind me, I have, and I put these in the post section too, these links to these National Geographic videos that I like a lot. Let me run this one for a minute and show you the other view of this face. I'm going to see how he turns. Oh, that is like being right there and saying, okay, can you turn a little bit to the wolf? And he does. But to have these views, that's really helpful because it's very hard to see from any one angle what you're looking at. But now you can see how flat that slope is on that face. And you can see, let me go back to where that began. I love this stop action ability. So now look at that side view, and see, not all the information is available from every view. And a lot of times you think it's your fault that you can't get a sculpture right. But many times it's the reference material. You just don't have enough reference material. And I will concede that I have not provided you all with enough really great still shots that you can do all this with. But because this is a complicated, relatively speaking, complicated piece, the best thing I can do is kind of at the end provide all those views so that you can then try to tackle a piece like this. I mean, I know a lot of people may have gotten discouraged. Oh, you have to be advanced. And well, you got to get started. You've just got to get started, and you will find over time it just gets easier and easier. So today I have two. I have my little keyboard here in case I need to respond back. It's hard to do all. It's like a 3-ring circus, right? But these were. Let me maybe close up on these. I'm going to go to I still don't have my new camera in. I'm so sorry. I've been so busy. Let me lay these down here so you can see. This was a homemade version of one I've gotten from Sculpture Depot. So Chuck made these all the time. And look how thin that wire is. But it gets kinked up. I'll lay it down here so you can see. Kinked up, and you have to constantly replace it. And I was never the tool maker. I mean, he always was. And he put these little crimps around the wire. And, he was so handy like that. I am not handy like that. But here's the good news. You don't have to be. I'm going to show you one I bought from Sculpture Depot. Okay, yes, that has a heavier wire. And, that's not ideal, as ideal for this. So I'm going to hope this doesn't break. But I can always replace this heavier wire with a thinner wire. I'm just going to go ahead and see how far I can get. This is very old, but this thinner wire is much better for this type of piece. I'm just going to take this head off. And of course, yes, we're going to put it back when we're done refining it. And I'm going to squeeze it slowly. No guarantee it's not going to break. But it's much better as a cutting tool. There we go. Just like that. Right off. I know, is that dramatic or what? But here's what we're going to be able to do. And I will heat that and heat this side when we go to put it back and notch it up and put a piece of armature wire in there. We're going to be able to really maneuver how that's going to look. Let me see if I can even begin to set up. You're going to need the new camera for really getting this right. But it's going to look even more scary. Yeah, I can't even do it for your viewing. It's going to look even more scary if he's just slightly, you can really maneuver how that head's going to go on. It's going to go this way a little bit. It's the way I've kind of got it going. So what we're going to do in the meantime, I can make the rock base for this piece and get this anchored up with more. I'll put a little bit more armature to hold those 3 legs together. That'll really hold that on. And Frank and Jackie, you're asking a question. I've got to really get close. The shortness of the wire seems, yes, it's better for cutting. I feel a little embarrassed because I can, go so far. But I was never the tool maker that Chuck was. And it's a really great, I kind of know how they were done. So I guess I could do that. But today there are so many things on the market that are just make your life so much easier than back when we were doing this in the 80s. So even the 70s. A lot of these tools that he made are still from the 70s. Before we did porcelain, he did ceramic models for the ceramic business. Like, I don't know if any of you are old enough, but let me turn this for a minute to talk. Back in the in the 70s, especially, people at night would go to these businesses that you could make like pots and figurines, and all of this was done from ceramic molds. And it was Chuck's job first in his career to make the models that became these ceramic hobby models that people, I guess there are some ceramic shops still left, and they fire it for you, and you can make something decorative for your home yourself. but it's still a model that's been reproduced a lot. But that's what he used to do. So he started making tools very early on because there weren't tools, and always worked in the the oil-based clay. And back then there weren't too many choices of that either. And it was very soft. And so you could get so far and you'd hold one side and it would ruin your detail on that one side and you go to the other. So this is a new day. And sadly, sadly, oh, Frank and Jackie, you remember, sadly, sculpture isn't as popular as it was then, and yet there are so many more tools. Now, I'm not sure that's completely true. At least this kind of sculpture, though, for the industry, is hard to find people left doing this. So I hope to reignite that and get you guys excited, even though some projects like this are more difficult than others. Now, let me go up close on this face, and it's very rudimentary right now, but when you see it on Wednesday, you're going to see a lot of, because I'm going to go ahead and start. And Cindy asked once, she asked, how do you get started on the face? And, I just take a crude, let me see if I can get close. I just start chopping away, and I'm looking at something. Now, let me just backtrack what I said a little bit, because I'm taking my pictures that I have. Let's get a better setup here. And I'm doing this measuring always. Okay, so the pictures that I have for you to download are, it shows the wolf in as if we took the picture from the same distance, but at a different angle. And so, you can still use what I have provided for you. Those eyes in these front views of these faces are right on, dead on each one of these pictures. And if I go here, I'm right dead center in the eye. Let me try to show it to you close up. So what you're going to do is you're going to look at new. Let me go to the other view now. You're going to look at new views, and I have these links available. And I will create pictures from those views to add to your collection so you can get it right. But basically, I'm just going to go side to side and front and measure my distances, the distances between the edges of the ears. They're wrong. That'll get fixed. But that's how you know. That's how you know. You go, well, how do you know how to do that? That's how you know how to do it. So you just keep working that, and you're not going to be like, it's not going to be perfect the first time out. It just, you have to practice. Just like a musician, I keep saying it's no different from a musician practicing. And what you're going to want to do is, and this might be helpful to many people who are just starting out. Let's see, where's my little ruler? First, I lost it again. But what you're going to want to do is take a straight edge and go right down the middle and use that as your guide as you go from side to side. I don't know what I did with my straight edge, but that's very helpful. I obviously put it away, but that's very helpful because then you won't get as lost. But keep turning it, and you'll see what's wrong, what needs to be moved. And what I'm going to do is perfect this. Now, I could even mold this face all by itself. When I move, I promise you guys we're going to get some plaster mold making done, because a sculpture like this, it's hard to do, relatively speaking. It is to do really well. And so, and I'll cut some away there if I turn the head. You're going to want to probably get this into a plaster model because I can imagine this could get, maybe it gets hot one summer day and one side of the leg melts down a little bit. It's too vulnerable in clay forever. So we're going to have to get to plaster at some point. The other thing I like about plaster, and I'm in the midst of packing up a lot of things to do our moving. And I realized, like, oh gosh, porcelain is so vulnerable and just breaks. Whereas plaster can break too, but it can be repaired. It's not quite as vulnerable as something in porcelain. I'm more and more thinking, I love it plasters gypsum. It's a real mineral. It's not like rubber or plastic. It's real and it's cool. And there's ancient. Oh, there goes my alarm. Alexa, stop. That's my new method of doing the alarm. But anyway, I will work on this a little bit, and I will try to take some interim pictures. It's very hard for me to do this while I'm on the air because it takes such concentration. But what I'll do is I'll take it right now, a picture, and then another one, and then where I end up before the next show. So you can, like we talked about, it's no good for me to just do it and go, ta-da. I want you to be able to follow and learn too. That's the whole point of what I'm doing. So thank you so much for joining me. And it's so great to have you all here. It's like our sculpture club, and I really love this. So I'll see you on Wednesday morning. Bye.